Hey guys, welcome to CodeJunkies Studios. What we're going to be doing over the course of a couple of weeks is just going through the basics of C# in Visual Studios and making your own applications and little things that you can do within them, which is pretty cool. So we're going to start. Obviously, you're going to need Visual Studios. I'm using the 2015 version, the community version, which is free. And sorry about me coughing. I've got a bit of a sore throat, so I apologise in advance for that. So first of all, obviously going to need to create a project. We're going new project. Obviously we're going to be making a Windows Form application, so name the project to something that you want. YouTube CJC. We'll just name it as that. And something in advance, you're also gonna just want to grab a picture of any kind, an icon. This is just for something later on that we're gonna do. Something that I like to do, I do my own icons, but if I'm just doing tutorials, I'll just do this and go into search tools and make it transparent so you're not going to have anything in the background. And the one we've got for this tutorial is actually this little one here, which is like a remake of a Google Chrome icon. Yeah, Google Chrome icon. But yeah, you could have it as anything you really wanted. There's also a website if it's a PNG, which most of these will. Convert to ico.com. You just give the URL or drag and drop it into here, or click and open, and then it will appear here, and you just download it as the ICO file, which is what Visual Studios will use. So first of all, you obviously get your form in the designer, which is pretty much what it's going to look like at the end show, minus any extra plugin kind of extensions that you're using that change the style of any form. Like you could be using DevExpress and it won't show everything that the form would look like. But yeah. So what we're going to do is scroll down to here in our form on properties, where we see icon. We're just going to find our icon, which I put on the desktop here. No, it is an ICO file. And as we see just there, it's made it in there. So if we actually debug, you can push F5 to debug as well, and I think it's Control and F5 or some. I can double check anyway, but it stops debugging. As we've got up there, we've got our little icon that we chose. But no, it doesn't. Oh no, it did do it this time. Okay, I'll take that back. Sometimes I have issues with if putting the icon in the properties, it doesn't put it in here. So if you do get that issue, the way to solve that is go into properties, project, and then what we named our project, properties. And then you'll see just here default icon, and you can add it in here, and this will actually add it to its resources as well. We'll just save, we'll close that because we know that it works. Obviously we wouldn't want our form, well, our program to be called form1 when someone opens it up. So to change that again, form1 properties, name it anything we want. As you see, changed it there. Sorry about that, guys. Right, and for instance, say we didn't want people to maximize and minimize. Again, form1 properties, scroll all the way to the very bottom, you'll see maximize box, so that's a false, and minimize box, false. And as we've seen, we only have the close button now, which you can remove that as well. No, where's it gone? Control box there. Take that away, deletes that button as well. But note that does also take your icon away in the top left corner, which we want the icon there. So what we're first going to do is changing the form colors programmatically. So we're going to first, I'll be using the default Visual Studio's controls for this, as I have a load of other ones as well, which some of you might have, some of you might not. So to keep it more generic, we'll leave it as a default. So we just added a group box. Now we're just going to leave that there. We're going to name our group box as color changing. Let's move that to there. Also, you do have a snapping effect on Visual Studios, but to get past that, just hold Alt, and you can move it absolutely anywhere you want. Or another way, just use the arrow keys on your keyboard, and you can move it anywhere you want. But I like keeping things neat. Also, another thing. Let's say we wanted this dead center in the whole size of our form. You can click on the object you want, format, center and form, vertically and horizontally, or just horizontally. It really makes no difference, just depending on how you want it. So in this group box, we're going to add 3 buttons. Oh, perfect, it went exactly where I wanted it to. Well, that one didn't. It's always the one. We're going to name the first button as default. Second as let's go green. And third as oh, what's that nice blue that I like in Visual Studios? That's it. Steel blue. It's a very nice colour. And what we're going to do, just so we get a little preview of it, if we go to background colour on the button, and let's type, oh no, mine's in web, isn't it? Where are we at? I've probably gone right past. Oh, there we go, steel blue. Changes it to the colour that we just chose. Go figure. Let's just use the default green. Do you know what, we'll just type. And default we're leaving as control. So in here you go, double click your button, it will take you into the code behind the program. Here's where your form initializes and loads. Well, no, it's not a load, it's just where it shows up. And if we go to there, that shows everything that's within our program, like our buttons and our group box, so it knows where they've got to be, what colour they are, where they're placed, what their name is, and everything. You can add things in there programmatically as well if you'd like. We can get into that in another tutorial. But just for now, we're going to just do it this way. So, to get a form to change, we wouldn't type form 1 because we're already in there, and we would actually get an error if we declare form 1 as being a new name. So you just type this dot back, because it's the back color that we're going to want to change. Just there. And then equals color dot what was it, control? So let's put it as white, because that's almost what it is, really. And semicolon at the end of it, and that will set it to the white. So now we do again dot black color. Oh, I didn't add a green. That is still blue. Yeah. So now we can just debug. We're already set on default, really. If you think about it, it's white. Button turns it white. We'll push the green button, turns it to green. Push the still blue, turns it to still blue. I really like the still blue. Don't ask me why, because I can't tell you. I just really like the colour of it. But yeah, as we can see, it will go back through and change into any colour that we set in the code. You also can set this as images, but we'll go into that in another tutorial with images and setting and changing their variables. But something cool that I like is we can actually sorry. Where are we at? If we add a timer and a let's just add another group box and a check button. I really never use a default Visual Studio things, so I kind of don't really know where all of that stuff are. Timer change. Let's just change the default text on that as not as we have no variable that we want to pass through it. So we just double click on the checkbox, and we're going to use our first if statement. So if, and then we're obviously going to be doing it with the checkbox because that's what we've clicked on to do it within. So we do checkbox1 dot checked, which checks to see if the state of it is checked or not. But we also want to see if it's checked, it means it's true, or we could do it the other way around. If it's false, then it does this. And in here we're gonna type timer 1 dot start open close semicolon, and we're also going to want to set it that if it's not true, so if it's false, then it's going to turn the timer off. So we do our first else. So else, and you could push enter and do the curly braces, but you can just double tap tab on your keyboard and it adds them in for you, which is very, very handy. So our timer 1 stops. We're going to just want to change something on our timer 1. It will get added just down here. It's counted in the intervals of milliseconds, so we don't want it to be literally 1 millisecond, so well, 100 milliseconds, which is, oh god, I don't know how quick that would bloody go. But if we change it to 1,000, that's equivalent to 1 second. But also just something we want to do. Just gonna change the text of the checkbox, that when it's on timer on. That's just going to state that when that's ticked, it goes in and changes that to timer on and timer off. If we double click on our timer, it takes us into the tick event of the timer itself. Above this, we're gonna want to provide our private init, which is an interval. Well, yeah, if I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But private and we're going to name this timer switch, as that's what it's going to be doing. It's going to be switching the case. And within our actual timer, I found my mouse. If we do timer switch ++, that means it's going to add on to it. And now we're going to use a switch and cases now, which I was going to get into more depth later on, but we can use one now, and you'll probably understand it mostly. But we just type switch, and what we're going to be using the switch with, which is timer switch. And again, we use our curly brackets. If someone knows the actual name of those curly brackets, please comment below and let me know. I've always wondered, but I've never bothered to check. So yeah, we're going to go on to making our cases now. So we're going to type case. This is going to be case 1, and we make our smiley face. But what we're going to do in our first case is set the background to a color. So this dot back color equals color dot red. We haven't used red yet. And we're gonna break that, if I could spell it right. And then we're gonna make our case 2 this dot stupid keyboard. Do it as green. You can really do as many cases as you would like. Really makes no difference. Oh, I've done case 2 twice, haven't I? I did it again. Equals color. God. Ooh, let's have a look. Actually, dark cyan. I'm not sure what that color really looks like, so let's have a go with that one. So now we've got them. We're gonna want to do a if statement below our switch. So if timer switch equals equals 2. Oh god, sorry, my throat went kind of crazy just then. I had a voice crack. Awesome. And I did the wrong thing. Okay, and that's our switch done. So what we've done is made our cases. So our first is red, second green, third blue, fourth dark cyan. If that's how it's said, cyan, that looks like how you would say it. Again, really not sure. It's only a color. So let's debug and we will check to see if that works. So again, all of our colors on here work. Let's start, check our checkbox, which will then initiate on checking the if statement to say if it's checked, it's going to change it to on and start timer 1. So set it to on, we're changing color. is it we're flicking between? Why was we only flicking between them two? Oh, it's because I'm declaring there's only two there to use. My bad, guys. Four. There we go. For each case, we add it onto the switch just here. Don't see why I didn't see that before. Yeah, I kind of like that cyan color. I don't know, I'm not too sure. But, yeah. That's our first tutorial, guys. To be honest, I'm not sure if I'm happy with the tutorial, but I'm going to put it out there anyway, and hope for your guys' feedback. If you would like a better planned tutorial, by all means, let me know. Let me know if there's specific things you want to know about, and I'll see if we can fit them into part of a tutorial somewhere. Or if there's a project or something like that you would really like to make, like a login system or something like that, or a chat system, anything. Let me know in the comments, guys, and we'll see about what we can do. So I hope you guys like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you guys think. We'll also have a forum up very shortly, which is going to have everything in there as well, in written format as well. Probably not all my gobbledygook of talking, because I'm pretty sure you guys don't want to hear that. But yeah, all that's going to be in there as well, guys. That'll probably be up by the next 3 tutorials, maybe sooner. Hoping to get it done sooner. But that will be in the video description very shortly, and there will be links to the converter that I showed at the very beginning of the tutorial. So again, hope you guys like. Peace out.